Norma White, affectionately known as Nana, is a long-term resident of Perth who never misses the chance to cheer on the team. I asked Nana how long she'd been barracking for the Swans.
Since 2000, and just over the 2000, I'd say. I wasn't a member till then, but I had been supporting them before that, before I even become a member, because I thought, well, it was hard on me to keep going backwards and forwards. I'd only see, like, if they come here for one game, and I thought, at the beginning I thought, well, I won't worry about membership yet, and then all of a sudden I changed my mind in 2000, just after 2002, and I joined up, and I've been with them ever since. I go to nearly all their games except, when I'm in Sydney or when they come here, which is only the once, of course, here, but I do travel and like to see them for sure.
Glenn and Lara Hermans are passionate Swans fans living in the heart of West Coast Eagles territory. With a collection of memorabilia that would make Bob Skilton red and white with envy, I asked them why a young couple from Perth's mortgage belt supports a team from the other side of the country.
Well, I suppose it comes from probably early 90s, I suppose. Being in Western Australia, it's very biased and one-eyed, and we probably thought we liked red and white, and Sydney looked like a good side, so we started going for them.
I just think the club, Sydney Swans, from your Richard Collis down to probably the cleaner, I just think they're all equal, and no one's better than anyone else, no arrogant egos. I just think they're all just everyday people, and they're just total class.
Well, it's pretty rare to see the Swans beat the Eagles in Perth, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we're lucky enough last year to see the 1-point thriller. There's been 4 games been so close, but we've seen a few games over here, and the last time Sydney won before then was probably 7 seasons ago. But yeah, you're lucky to get more than one game in Perth.
Carolyn Gavin, a lifelong Swans supporter who organises the banner on match day, explains why she keeps supporting the Swans despite living so far away from Sydney.
Well, there's myself and 2 sisters, and we were all brought up to barrack for South Melbourne because my grandfather barracked for South Melbourne, obviously my parents did. And Dad used to go to the football every week in Albert Park or wherever it was in Melbourne, and he would get drunk and fall asleep on the train. So he would just end up going backwards and forwards on the train while Mum was sitting at the train station waiting to pick him up. So he elected to take a child with him so that they could wake him up when we got to the station before he had to get off. So I used to go every week, and I thought, well, may as well start barracking for this South Melbourne. So I was 8 then. So it's been 30 years. And since then I used to go every week with Dad, without fail, didn't matter. Dad would get drunk as a skunk, and I'd wake him up at the train station before. And I guess the rivalry thing back to that is from my dad, because if we were playing Collingwood, Dad would sit amongst the Collingwood supporters, because back in them days you didn't have a ticket, you didn't have to sit in a particular seat, you could sit wherever you like. Dad would sit amongst whatever team we were playing against, all their supporters. So I suppose that's a characteristic I've inherited from him.
Tony, I understand that you're an Eagles supporter.
Yes, well, I don't know about a supporter so much, but I do barrack for them.
Well, it looks like we've got a mixed marriage here, so how does that work?
It's always as long as we don't watch the same shows on TV.
And how did you cope over the past couple of grand finals?
Well, I didn't watch them.
Where were you?
Taking the dog for a walk.
No, you didn't. You was down the Bel Air, you told me.
Oh, for the grand final, yeah.
He
right.
watched it down there. He did.
So,
He watched it down there.
Well, Mum and Dad, they're passionate Sydney supporters as well. One of our best mates, Colin, he's passionate Sydney. We've got, of course, other friends that follow other clubs, Eagles, Dockers, and some Victorian sides, but no, it's good, friendly, happy rivalry.
You've got 2 sons.
A daughter and a son.
Are they Eagle supporters?
yes.
Kerry is, but they still like the Swans. They've always said they've liked them, but they do barrack for Eagles.
So we have 1 Swan and 3 Eagle supporters, so how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're heavily outnumbered over here. Do you think it's fun being part of the minority?
Oh, it's great. Excellent. We're not part of the sheep that follow the Perth-based sides. We like to be different individuals.
Why do you think it's fun being part of a minority?
Well, if you won a 40,000, you just won a 40,000. If you won a 300,
You think there's some sort of bond there
yes, definitely.
that's forged under difficult circumstances?
Yes, definitely. Yep. Sydney people over here do stick together.
Yeah, and I suppose the first question people always say, are you from Sydney? And we say, no, we're from Perth. We're born and bred Scarborough, Woodlands brought up. And
How would you compare watching the Swans in Sydney with watching them in Perth?
It's a lot different because they seem and appear to be a lot more confident when they're in Sydney. Obviously it's their home ground. You've got 35,000 people there that follow Sydney. It's completely different. There's no booing, there's none of what happens here.
Do you think it's a better experience over here watching it?
I'd have to say yes, because I'm that type of person that likes to be the underdog. Obviously over there you feel more at home, everybody says hello, everyone has a chat, everybody's friendly. Over here the numbers are obviously a lot less, but I do like to be the underdog, yes.
But you don't go to any of the Swans games?
No. No, I couldn't do it.
Why not?
Well, if I did, I would make sure I didn't sit in Norma. I'd have to be up the back by myself somewhere.
Why is that?
Well, I don't think she'd get out of me ear. She just yaps on, and I just can't stand it. It's bad enough sitting here with her while she's watching it.
How do you reconcile living in Perth, identifying as a local, and supporting the Sydney Swans?
Well, we're few and far between. There's not many of us around. We generally get told to go home. Obviously we are at home, but our roots are not here.
Carolyn isn't kidding about Swan supporters being few and far between. A couple of years ago, the WA Swans had only 15 members in Perth, as opposed to over 40,000 for the Eagles. Since then, things have picked up, and this year the pre-match function at the Italian club in Northbridge is sold out.
You would be the bravest Swan supporters in all of Australia. Congratulations to you, fantastic. I am absolutely thrilled to be here.